Labor Day weekend land update. Been a few weeks since we've been here, but we came back to do some camping on our land. I guess we came in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just spent the Labor Day weekend just camping here and seeing the progress. There is progress. So we've got our 4-run leach field in. It's past the pre-fill inspection and past the post inspection. That's ready to go. We've got no septic tanks yet, but they're going to be down there. I'll walk you over there and show. I think it's a 2-tank system, so they've got 2 areas flagged out there where we camped. It gets cold here at night, for sure. It definitely gets cold here at night. But we just kind of feed of strength these boulders around the place. Put a tent back here. I'll show you some pictures. Man, it's still hard to breathe up here, but I'm getting used to it. I'm doing better. I was really excited to see this. I was really excited to see how much work is going on with the driveway. It's doing great. I'll show you the bottom before we leave. We're just getting ready to pack up and get out of here now, but all of yesterday, we did sort of an elevation model, just doing some survey work on the property so that we can bring it home, bring it into some geospatial tools, use some CAD, SketchUp, see what this terrain looks like. It's going to be really interesting. We took, I think, about 500 points, just sort of topographic survey style, but we used a total station because we didn't think that we could get decent RTK in these trees. That's okay, no big deal there. Wish I brought a B-pins from work. So all of yesterday we did land surveying work. We've got the corners pegged in. We've got sort of a relative datum. I have nothing absolute because my GNSS receiver decided to firmware update itself into a brick right before I was going to collect some static points. So we've got a relative survey of the whole area, topo style, about 500 points here. So we'll see. Should be an interesting piece of data to see where we want to put the final house. But what we're thinking right now about where to put the final house is right about here where this dump truck and skid is. So if the tanks are going to be down here, we're going to go nice slope to the basement of this house. If it's got a basement, we'll figure it out. We still don't know what we're going to do there. We've got the leach field here. It's going to get pumped up from the tanks to the leach field. You always need a pump around here with the rocks. At least here you do. And we've got some control. We've got some flags here and there that we've staked out. That's just so that we can reestablish our location. If we want to add more points to our survey map, get some better info, that should be good. We threw a rope over here to keep our garbage up because we just don't know what the bear situation is here yet. Spoiler, no bears. There were no bears while we were camping. So here's where the septic tanks are going to go in. Leach field's right behind you. We've got one here and one here. And to be totally fair, I haven't read into all of the details of this particular Vantech system. If it's one tank and they're doing something silly here, that's on me. I'll figure it out. I figure it's time to dig in and see what they're making me put in. But it's ordered. Should be here September 19th, the tank, so we can get the tank in. Once the tank's in, we can start clearing the main home site area. Like I said, just right over there by the dump truck. Once we start clearing that, I think we're going to be in a really good position to pick some house plans, get some permits, and figure out what we want to do next building season. But before the snow comes, all we're trying to do is get the home site sorted, septic permit done, driveway finished. But that's what we were up to. We did some amazing hikes. It gets really cold at night. The dog definitely wanted to be under the covers, wanted to huddle the whole time. Frank's not much of a cuddler, but he was in there. And it looks like we're going to have firewood for days here. This property at some point had a massive fire. And I think that's going to be part of owning this thing, is figuring out fire mitigation and what we got to do to make sure that if a wildfire occurs nearby, this plot isn't so susceptible again, because walking around it, it's just so dry. There's just so much dry stuff here. So when we're leaving with the fire pit, we're going to just absolutely cover it with water. A fire's not out till it's totally out. Okay, yeah, so just a quick video on the survey work we did over Labor Day weekend to get that digital elevation model. We were worried we weren't going to get too much RTK, quick GPS shots to get a nice topo map, so we just did it old school. We set up a tripod on top of the septic tank. I'll show you that. We put the trusty old TS06 on there. Set up just a 500, 500, 500 is my station. Shot it all in relative. shot the survey markers. So I'm going to bring it back to their datum because I don't know actually what their property boundaries are around here as far as what datum they're using. So instead of getting just GPS points, I'm just going to shift it all over to the property markers, and that'll give us a nice map of the area. 70 centimeter offset just made the quick points pretty easy. Just one of us, darling wife, was walking around shooting. If it was a little bit unlevel, I didn't worry too much. I was just shooting from the one station. We shot some ground control in so we could move over to the other side of the property, reestablish ourselves, and shoot in that whole area where the house is going to go, along with the septic. And we took some critical markers, property markers, septic tank areas, proposed well, just sort of the caps of this thing, just to see what it was going to end up looking like. Just tripod, total station, prism, relative datum is all we needed. Note for anybody doing this with their wife, set up the total station a little bit lower. We had to use a stool so that she could shoot it in. We're not all going to be doing this the whole time. So that caused a couple nudges of the tripod getting into, oh, I got to re-level this thing. So yeah, maybe our resolution here is going to be a couple centimeters. I mean, at best, but who cares? I'm really just looking for an elevation model at this point. I'm not surveying in the critical components. So that's going to be a great tool for us later. Didn't take too long to set up, but it is laborious walking through the forest, just going point, point, just sort of trying to get a 2 meter by 2 meter grid, but knowing that's asking way too much of yourself. That's it. Thanks.